Sam hated the Week 9 slate, but Week 10 has much, much better lines. I got our 5 best bets going into Week 10. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Sports Betting After Dark. Betting After Dark. We need to think of a new name that's catchier. It's just, it doesn't roll off the tongue. If you guys have an idea, hit us up in the comments down below. We'll use this as our quick transition to comment down below. But, let us know what you think of the name. What kind of names you would like for a sports gambling, sports betting podcast. Gambling After Dark. Maybe that sounds a little bit better. But I'm your host, Calvin Timms. I got my co-host, Sam Timms, my little sister, here with me today, and we're back for week number 10, and no big major topics to talk about this week. I've been on I've had some bad beats the last week. I've been talking to Sam about it. It's been mentally draining, but it is what it is. You got to go with the good times. You got to go with the bad. We were up, $160 now. It all came crashing back down, so you just got to keep rolling and make sure you guys don't chase the bets. That's the biggest thing. Don't panic gamble if you're starting to lose. So how are we doing today, Sam?
Doing good. We're ready to win some money.
Yes. Man, I was so mad last week. I was so close to so many of these lines hitting, and it was just like...
I had a good week last week.
I know. The kicker, dude, I was so mad. Hunter Henry, last week, and I don't want to be one of those podcasts where we only talk about the wins. Oh, I got these ones, right? But I did the Hunter Henry 40 plus alternate rushing yards for plus 160, right? Or alternate receiving yards. He had 39 yards. I missed it by 1 yard. Kaimi Fairbairn, I called out the kicker. I put $10 on that guy. He gets injured after the first kick, like literally on the first kick gets injured, lose the bet. I'm just like, dude, are you serious? It's just so frustrating. Yeah. Oh, that's gambling for you, right? That's gambling.
That's right.
Oh, even the first quarter, Houston, Tampa Bay, where I thought Houston was Houston ended up winning that game, didn't they? So it wouldn't have mattered. But even Tampa Bay, they came back with a minute left to score a touchdown to take the lead in the first quarter. I was like, are you serious? But
that game was crazy. Fantasy-wise, CJ Stroud had 51 points.
Dude, I was so close to hitting my mega bet, my mega parlay that I threw together for the boost. I had Stroud over the passing yards, Mayfield over the passing yards. Both of them threw for 2+ touchdowns. The only thing that didn't hit was probably the safest one, which was Godwin's receiving yards. And he had 15 yards. I was like, what? What is this game?
Yeah. That guy's really unpredictable.
I know.
All of gambling is unpredictable, but I learned a long time ago, never bet Godwin.
Yeah, well, he's normally Mr. Consistent, but it's just, he doesn't really have the boom weeks, but normally he has a pretty high floor of higher than 16. But it was a fun one for sure. All right. But like I said, we're not going to have any big major talking points. Is there anything you wanted to talk about? One thing that I'm a rookie when it comes to betting and everything, but one thing that I've been doing a little bit more of this last week, and maybe this is good or maybe this is bad, but some of these parlays where it's close odds, I've been doing the staking all of the bets plus the parlay. You know what I mean? So you put a couple bucks on all the individual bets, then you have the whatever on the parlay as well. Is that crazy or is that good?
I would say, personally, that's where I've always lost the most money.
Really?
Yeah, because you feel real good about all of it, but then you miss all of them, so you've bet a lot of them twice.
Yeah, but what if you're like the Tampa Bay one, right? If I would have put $5 on all of those, and $5 on the parlay for the boost, right? I would have made more money because 4 of the 5 legs hit, right?
Yeah.
Is that not? So it kind of depends on the odds. I'm not saying if they're all minus 400, right? But
right. I'd say, like you said, it depends on odds, because if you are risking $5 on a minus 200 and they don't hit it, you're losing $5 when you 2.
Yeah, right. I gotcha.
So
you're netting a minus a half unit or whatever it is, but
Yep.
But yeah, that's something. And then the round robin thing, I don't understand that, and I don't really know what that means, like all that stuff. But that's
That's
where it gets
is for yeah, I would say that is for like really major betters.
the
Um,
round robins. Isn't that where it's
yeah.
like if like that, for example, that Tampa Bay one,
Hmm.
you can do multiple leg round robins where like if 3 legs of it hit, you get some of it, but not all of it.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah, but you have to bet a bit more, I think, too, in order to profit.
Oh, I see. I gotcha.
Yeah.
I
So
gotcha.
I don't understand them either. I've never done round robins. But a lot of the guys who place like the crazy parlays, they might round robin,
Mm-hmm.
but like they've got like 10 legs.
Oh, I gotcha.
So
So if like 7 of them hit, then you're not completely busted, kind of thing.
yeah, something like that. I don't really know. It doesn't seem like a lot of people round robin in general, which you guys could comment on if you do or not, or if you see other people do it. But from my experience, round robin round robins are not really the way to go. Anybody who bets a lot is just gonna tell you straight bet.
Straight bet. Straight bet. Parlays are good for just like big boosts, but they're so unreliable.
Yeah, like my favorite is when you get like, and it's not for a parlay, and so I can use it on something like the Arizona game last night.
Yeah.
So I can make a better, like, safer alternate spread like we did, but still boost it for plus money.
Yeah, I gotcha.
That is where I always make them.
I gotcha. I gotcha. I did that with the Michigan Penn State game right now. That DraftKings gave you the free boost or whatever on that one, um,
Mhm.
and I think I took an alternate spread where it was -4.5 or something. It was like -120, something like that. But I boosted it and it's plus money all of a sudden. It's like, all right, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah, crazy, like, 4-pick parlay
Yeah.
that I put, like, $2 on.
And the nice thing is, we're only kind of talking about NFL right now. Eventually, we might parlay into, pivot into a couple of other sports and everything. But we can always talk about that. And maybe we can talk about one that I really like. Actually, I'm going to pull this one up. And this was unexpected a little bit, but this is coming out on a Saturday. So tonight, I don't really get to talk about these very often because they don't happen very often. But the UFC, right? I love UFC.
Yeah, you
And I got a free boost from DraftKings, and I was going to send this one to you anyway, actually. But I threw together a little UFC bet. So I'm just going to tell you guys as well, and you guys can feel free to bet it if you listen to this in time or not. But the boost was kind of the stepped up parlay for MMA.
Mhm.
And let's see if I can find it really quickly. Yeah, here it is. So tonight is a fun night with the MMA, and it's going to be some banger fights tonight. I can promise you that much. But what I did was a 2-game, a same game parlay X, whatever times 2, whatever that really means. But the first leg of the parlay was Jiri Prochazka and Alex Pereira over 1.5 total rounds at -175. I think that fight is going to go a little bit longer just because it's going to take those guys a little bit of time to feel each other out. And I don't think it's going to end in round 1. Now, Jiri Prochazka is kind of a crazy person. He doesn't really, I don't think he's the most intelligent fighter. And Alex Pereira is kind of a sniper in that regard. But Alex Pereira is not really that kind of killer where he's going to go out there and try and dominate early, right? He's not that aggressive type. He likes to pick his shots. So I took over 1.5 rounds for that one. It's a 5-round fight, so pretty good odds that it's going to go multiple rounds here. But then the co-main event is Tom Aspinall versus Sergei Pavlovich. It's a heavyweight battle for the interim belt, and it's a 2-pick same-game parlay paired with the other one, plus 300 odds for this. But Tom Aspinall to win the fight, and I do believe he's going to win, and then over 5.5 total minutes. That gives you plus 300. So all in all, together, those combined gives you plus 528 odds, boosted plus 634. Threw a little fiver on that just because I really like the odds on that. And, 5.5 minutes, that's 1 round and 30 seconds. If it goes through 1 round for the heavyweight fight, it's definitely going to make it through 30 seconds in the first round. I think, again, just like the main event, the jiri and Pereira fight, it's going to be a little bit of guys feeling each other out. And, I like that bet a lot, but you guys can let me know. We don't, like I said, we haven't talked about other sports too much, but now is the perfect opportunity to talk a little bit of MMA for tonight. So let me know your thoughts on that bet down in the comments below.
I'll tail it for sure. I know nothing about UFC. So that's a
The
blind tail for
only
me.
sweaty part is, I have Tom Aspinall winning. It's a heavyweight. So literally any of these guys can win with one punch. It's whoever gets luckier on the chin or is more technically sound on the feet. Tom Aspinall moves like a welterweight. He is extremely fast for being a 270-pound man, right? But he's also very good on the ground as well. So he's got very good hands and he's got very quick feet and he knows how to work the ground game. But Sergei Pavlovich is a big Russian man who has a lot of power. So all it takes is one lucky punch from him. It's -110 for both of them. It's literally a pick 'em. So even Vegas doesn't know how to kind of score this one. And then the same for the jiri one. It's entirely possible. Jiri Prochazka is he has the ability to take the fight to the ground and submit Pereira, where he's not very strong at all. But he's only got 3 submissions in his entire MMA career of 20 plus fights or whatever. So he doesn't like to do it often, and I don't think it's going to happen in less than 1.5 rounds. So, big, heavy, strong guys, anything could happen. It could be 10 seconds and the fight's over, but I do think that it's going to be a little bit more tactical than that. So just wanted to throw that out there for the other sports that we always kind of promise we're going to talk about, but never do. All right.
Well, since we're doing other sports, I can have some too.
All right, throw out your
beginnings.
best. Go ahead.
I don't have one for today. I don't have any for today. A lot
Okay.
of them I've already. So, yeah.
Okay. But yeah, we'll make sure you follow us on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at TDC_Calvin, Sam at SamTims99, and the podcast at FF After Dark. But Sam puts out a lot more content than I do. I need to be better about tweeting. I just never do. But Sam will have other bets out there, and she can post them, and you guys can go tail her bets. And she's much better. If you listen to the start of the podcast, I'm on a little bit of a losing streak. Sam is not. She's much better at this than I am. So, if you're tailing me, do it with a grain of salt, right? I'm doing my best at trying to make smart bets, but, Sam has the experience on what to look for a little bit better than I do. So make sure you're listening to her advice over mine. But, if you want to listen to me on some shots, then feel free.
Get in NFL. You want to go first? You want me to go first?
Go ahead.
Okay, so I'll start with a game line, and we just talked about that. But I have 5 bets. Cal has 5 bets. Maybe we'll throw in a little something spicy at the end. But I have Raiders versus Jets. That's at -102, I believe, which is a weird line. But anyways, I can see. Well, McDaniel got fired, and I think that's a really good move on the Raiders. And then they won last week. I forgot who they played.
They dominated last week too.
Yeah,
I'll pull it up.
I don't. Okay, but yeah, they really did dominate. I think I didn't see what Davante Adams' yards were, but it seemed like
he was not involved.
Okay, but it just seemed like the offense was more in sync. I should say. It feels like the offense got to play football for once, how they think they can play football with what weapons they have.
Yep.
So
it was the Giants,
Jets,
by the way.
Oh, the Giants. Well, yeah, the Giants. Okay. But the Jets aren't much better than the Giants, in my opinion. Their
defense is much better, but yeah, their offense
their defense
not
is
great.
Much better, but it's also a defense where if they utilize Davante Adams right, he can be a major weapon against those corners.
Yep.
So for -102, and it's the primetime NFL game, right? 8 o'clock one.
Yep.
Yeah. I like those odds a lot, so I'm probably going to roll with that. And if you want to be safer with it, take the spread.
Sure.
So
I think it's -1. Well, last what I saw, it was -1 though, right? Is it still that?
Oh, I don't know. But something like that, I'd definitely take an alt spread to where the Raiders win or they lose by
Yeah.
a field goal.
Raiders are +1, so it's kind of a
Yeah,
pick 'em.
that's weird.
The line's actually moved since you talked about it too. It's -105, but still very,
Oh.
very good odds.
Mm.
But yeah, I like that one a lot. Like you said, the Jets are kind of just in no man's land. I did have one money line that I'm seeing one unit on this week, and I'm really trying to cut it down. The last couple weeks I've been putting out a lot more bets. They've been close, but when you spread yourself so thin, you're just opening yourself up to more potential risk as well. So I'm trying to consolidate, just to make sure I'm only giving good bets this week.
Take it
Airs,
easy.
huh?
Take it easy.
Yeah, taking it
Slow
easy
it
a little bit.
down.
So one line that I really liked a lot this week is Arizona, the Cardinals, taking them over the Falcons money line. It's +105 for the Arizona to win this game. And they're going to be getting Kyler back. They're going to be getting James Conner back more than likely. James Conner said 3 weeks ago that that he was ready to go when they were going to activate him off IR. He practiced in
Mhm.
limited fashion all week long. So I do think that James Conner is going to be in this game. I think that Kyler Murray's going to be in this game. And the way that the Falcons have been playing with Arthur Smith, I don't think they're going to be able to hang with this team. So I like it quite a bit, and you can let me know. But yeah, +105 odds with Kyler and James Conner coming back. I think it's going to give this team a morale boost. They don't really care about having the number 1 overall pick. So I think it's just a great opportunity to get some plus money here.
For sure. I don't think the Cardinals are going to come out swinging by any means, but I think they could definitely be Falcons.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it all depends on Kyler's health. But if Kyler's healthy, there's no way Atlanta's going to be able to hang in this. No, Taylor Heineke, no way.
Yeah. Game line, the next bet that I had, which is one of my five, or two of my, one of my five, the second bet. So I like the Seattle versus Washington game. It's an alternate total, and
Okay.
it's over 41.5, and that's for -165. That's a little bit of a safer bet for me, something that I would maybe parlay with something else. But it was just something I like these teams, it's at Seattle too, like you said, and so if it's at Seattle, that's a crazy crowd, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion, and I mean, that's a 2023 game. So, like 20 points, another 23 the year. So, it's a bit safer, not as much risk, not as much return, but I like it. That's something I'd probably parlay with something else that's a safer bet.
Yeah, there you go. A safer bet for me, I'm actually going to take Dak Prescott over 1.5 touchdowns at -160. That's going to be the safest that I go on this week. But they're
Mm.
playing the Giants. We just talked about the Giants. They got blown out by the Raiders last week, who are one of the most confusing teams I've ever seen. But Dak, I think he's going to definitely be passing. They're going to blow this team out, and for Dak to have 2 touchdowns in a blowout win, I don't think is crazy. So I like that quite a bit, and I think that he's going to be very, very good at -160. It's not great odds. If you're betting 10, you win 6, but I do think it's pretty safe. That's probably the safest $6 you're going to win this week.
Yeah. Okay, so we're kind of going with a unplanned good flow here as far as relevance to each other.
Well, being
But
a good host, Sam.
yeah, but you didn't plan any of it. So anywho, let's keep going.
She's
Mac
allergic.
Jones.
Everybody out there, she's allergic to giving me compliments. She's my little
You're
sister, so
allergic to giving me compliments.
I said you're the better. What do you want? What more do you want
Yeah,
from
but
me?
it's not a compliment because you only speak out of facts. And right now that's just a fact.
It is a fact. You'll probably always be the better than me. I'm not the betting type. So there you go. There's the
So, yeah,
fact.
he's a good host. He does a lot of good work. Whatever. Anyways,
Mac Jones.
so
He's
Mac
terrible.
Jones.
You believe in him this week.
No. Interception. I believe he'll throw an interception.
Fair enough.
And
Okay.
that is at -135. That guy throws an interception almost every single game.
Yeah, he's got the yips right now for sure.
And the Colts defense can for sure cause that too.
Yeah, I mean, look at Bryce Young last week. He threw 3 of them.
No.
So
Yeah. So yeah, I think that. I mean, that's really good odds for -135. But I also am a quarterback bettor. I like quarterback props a lot. I like interceptions a lot. I think there's a lot of money to be made there. So that's the one I'm gonna roll with this week.
all right, and you like quarterback props. Here's another quarterback prop for you. Will Levis, 250 plus passing yards is an alternate passing total. Plus 170 odds. This is going to be my riskiest bet on the week, but Will Levis last week is someone who you look at what CJ Stroud was able to do against this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, and I'm just pulling up the line really quickly. CJ Stroud had 470 yards against this defense. He had 5 touchdowns all through the air, and I love the Will Levis line this upcoming week because Will Levis through 2 games, he's not been an amazing quarterback by any stretch of the imagination. Sam doesn't love him because it's only been 2 games and everything like that. But you look at game 1, 238 passing yards against above average Atlanta team, right? 4 touchdowns in his rookie debut. Last week against Pittsburgh, 262 passing yards, no touchdowns, anything like that. But I do think against Tampa Bay, how weak their secondary has become right now. Their pass rush is not what it once was for Tampa Bay either. The thing for Pittsburgh was they were able to get to Will Levis. They pressured him so many freaking times. Like he had 4 sacks in that game, plus however many rush pressures and everything like that that I don't have off the top of my head. But if you're able to get to Will Levis, it's not great. I don't think Tampa Bay can get to Will Levis the same way. So I think that they're going to be able to pass on Tampa Bay, similar to how Houston was the week before. And 250 is not even that much. He's averaging over 250 per game through his 2 games. He's averaging exactly 250 through his 2 games. But 1 game over, 1 game just under against a very weak secondary for Tampa Bay. I like the plus money on that quite a lot. And again, it's not like it's something that's crazy for him in this one. They have all their weapons that are healthy out there. So it's not like he's missing anybody either majorly on this offense. So I like the odds at plus 170.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Like you said, though, I'm not taking Levis this season.
She's a hater.
I'm not a hater. He's doing good things, but I'm not going to bet him.
Just because the guy mixed mayonnaise in his coffee one time, you just never bet him, huh?
No.
And it probably wasn't one time. It was probably every time, but still.
It's 2 games, man. It
means it's protein. Fatty protein. Got mayonnaise coffee.
Is that real, though? I thought he was just trolling.
No, that's real. And he also eats bananas with the peel on.
I'm pretty sure he's trolling.
It's real. It became trolling because everyone thought he was trolling, and he's like, no, I really do this stuff. So everyone thinks it's a meme, but he really does all this weird crap.
Yay. Great.
All right, what's your next bet? Do you have any rushing? Are you done with your quarterback props, or you got any more?
I am. I have a receiving and then a rushing.
Okay, go with the rushing one first.
Okay, cool, because that ties with Mac Jones, kind of. Mm-hmm. But I have Ezekiel Elliott under 28.5 yards for minus 115.
Risky.
It's risky, but Ezekiel Elliott sucks. And
you know what? I think I talked about
He gets more of like the red zone stuff anymore.
Yeah, short yardage. Yep.
Yeah. So he's kind of slow now. He really is. But
he is.
I don't see him. It's a risky bet, like you said, but I think it could hit pretty easily. Last week, it was like the third quarter, and it was like I took him live for under 26 yards, and it hit. He literally didn't rush another.
Yeah, they're not using him. He's not the same old Zeke, and he just looks a little slow. I think I talked about this last week. I hate betting unders. Like, I really do, because all it takes is one bust-off play, like it's much easier for the overs to miss, I feel like, than the unders probably, but the unders, it just feels so much worse when they do hit that one big play and you're just like, why? Why?
Yeah. Yeah, but there's your fear of unders, you're losing money. It's like I told you about that parlay I did last night. It was literally 3 legs of NBA all unders.
Right. Right. Yep. So she had a crazy parlay. But um no, I have 2 rushing lines here really quickly that I'll talk about, and I'm done with my 5. But I have a 6 for you guys. Don't worry. Sam was like, "You said 5, but you have more than 5 bets." And I was like, "Yeah, nobody cares how many you actually have. It's all the title. You guys get bonus content. Be happy. Be grateful. But my 2 rushing lines that I like a lot this week: Joe Mixon over 66.5 rushing yards. I'm only betting a half unit on this one, and the Will Levis over 170 or over 250 receiving yards. But Joe Mixon, he is in a prime spot this week. They're playing the Houston Texans, and Houston you beat the Houston Texans by running on them. And, they might be out Jamar Chase. They're already out T. Higgins in this game. I could really see that they're going to be really needing Joe Mixon heavily in this one. And, I almost kind of want to bet Tyler Boyd's over in this one, because I think Tyler Boyd's going to have a lot of yards, and Irv Smith.
Or even the tight ends, yeah.
Yeah, Irv Smith would be the one that would have a big impact there. But I think that they're going to need to run. They're going to utilize Joe Mixon. And if you look at Joe Mixon, I think the line for him against the Texans, which should not be this low against Houston, because Houston just can't stop the run. That's just not what they're built to do right now. But Joe Mixon last week only had 38 yards. The week before had 81. The week before that, 38. But you go back to the 3 games before that, right? And it was a solid like 68, 72, or in 84 or something like that. So like it's just a little bit of a slump recently. Last week they didn't really need him too much. Last week was the Bills game, right?
Yeah, because that game was freaking awesome.
Yes, yeah, it was the Bills game.
What'd I say, too?
Yeah, it was a good one. But, Mixon only having 38 yards busted one of my parlays last week. But,
yep.
But no, I think that Joe Mixon is kind of he's in contention for a bounce back week this week. I think it's how you win against Houston. And with all the weapons that are out, I like Mixon a lot. And it's plus 114, so it's positive money.
Good.
My other one, sorry, excuse me, I'm trying to cough. It's that time of year, right? My other rushing line is going to be Jaylen Warren over 33.5 rushing yards at minus 115. And again, Jaylen Warren, I like Najee Harris a lot, but for whatever reason, the team, Jaylen Warren has looked good. I don't want to disparage this guy at all. He doesn't have nearly the same number of touches, but last week he had 11 touches for 88 yards. It's against Green Bay. Green Bay has been really bad against the run almost all season. They've gotten a little bit better recently, if I remember right, but 33.5 yards, I like that a lot for Jaylen Warren in this one. And again, it's minus 115, but it feels like it's a safer, close bet than normal.
Yeah, I like Najee Harris a lot too, but I think he needs to go.
I think so too, but for he was a first round pick, so it's hard to.
I know.
He's got like 3 years left with Pittsburgh.
I know, but I don't know. I just feel like he has so much more potential.
I would love to see Najee on their competitors, the Baltimore Ravens, but that'll never happen.
That wouldn't happen. All right, so my last bet is, speaking of Ravens, Odell Beckham Jr.
You call him a tight end?
No, I said speaking of Ravens.
Oh, okay.
Oh boy. So anyways, Odell Beckham, he's wish-washed in my opinion. He got a touchdown randomly last week. Cool. What didn't he not even play like the last couple years?
He's been banged up. He had the ACL tear with the Rams in the Super Bowl game.
Yeah.
And then he came back at the end of last year, kind of wasn't able to really do a ton with it. And then Um,
Traded to the Ravens.
no, he signed like a 1-year deal at the end of last year, and then
Oh yeah, free agent.
yeah, then he signed with the Ravens this offseason.
Okay, so anyways, I have him for under 29.5 yards receiving, and that's
Okay.
minus 110.
Yeah.
Uh, they're playing the Browns, and the Browns have a really good defense, obviously. They're slated to win by a lot,
Mm-hmm.
which is possible. But I just see, like, I think it's going to be the Browns are going to put a lot of pressure on Lamar, and
Mm-hmm.
so I think Lamar is going to do these quicker passes to the receivers that he trusts a bit more,
Mm-hmm.
like Zay and
Mark Andrews.
yeah, Mark Andrews, and I'm trying to think of who else.
Are you talking Nelson Aguilar?
And I don't think he trusts him as much as Odell, but like Beckham, he just doesn't. He's not what he was a couple years ago, obviously,
No.
and he doesn't get as many snaps because of his injuries and whatnot. And
Mm-hmm.
he's just not as fast as what he used to. Like I think Zay Flowers is a really great uh new receiver to the league, and I think that those two are doing good things. So I think Lamar is going to rely more on, like you said, Andrew and Zay, because I think they're going to run quicker routes for him to kind of shovel a quick pass.
Yeah.
Where like Odell, they kind of seem to do like the long shot, like long third downs or something.
Right. And that's where, yeah, it's not crazy. It's sweaty to me, but
Oh,
Cleveland
for sure.
is
It's an
such a good
under.
defense. The thing that's going to be interesting to watch in this game is how many 3-and-outs are there going to be in this game, because
Mm-hmm.
Cleveland is maybe the best defense in the league or second
Mm-hmm.
best, but Baltimore is the other. 1 and 2 is going to be Cleveland and Baltimore, in my opinion, personally. These
Mm-hmm.
two are the top 2 defenses in the league, and neither of these offenses are that good, that great. So it's
Mm-hmm.
going to be an interesting battle and it's divisional. So, there's already that heatedness right there. So it's going to be fun to
Yeah.
watch this one, but, it's possible that Cleveland's not able to really get much done, but I don't know if Baltimore's going to be able to get a lot done either, just because of the
The
competitiveness
pressure.
of this, yeah, and the pressure by Cleveland. So Mark Andrews feels like a lock, and I could see a little bit more for Zay Flowers. Last week he only had 1 target and 1 catch for 11 yards, but
Yeah.
squeaky wheel, first round pick, blah blah blah. I could see him having
Yep.
a little bit more as well. So no, I like it a lot. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well,
Do you have
top
any?
off with your
Do you have any
go
more
ahead.
bets, or is that your last one?
Well, I mean, I have a couple I could share. They're a bit more of risky. I'm just gonna see what I can do. But I had a Stroud interception, and that was at plus 120. It's
Okay.
possible. I tell you, anytime the media hypes up the touchdown to interception ratio, or how it's been however many long,
The
that's how he hasn't
Matrix.
thrown an interception. Yeah.
Sam's got the code to the Matrix, guys.
They throw an interception, and they've been doing that this week with because CJ Stroud had so many touchdowns last
Mm-hmm.
week.
And Cincinnati, they do have a good defense, but
Yeah,
yeah,
so I
we'll
can
get to
see an
your
interception.
we'll get to your
I can
risky
see
ones here
it.
in 1 second. Let me throw out my last bet. My
Mm.
my fifth, sixth bet here. Jonnu Smith over 29.5 receiving yards. You know, everybody, and myself included, is so frustrated with Arthur Smith. If you haven't, we have the me and my buddy Dale. We also do the Dynasty podcast where we talk about, this week we talked about coaches that deserve to be fired, and Arthur Smith is in our top 5. He's number 3. But everybody wants to talk about how he's not using his guys correctly. It's not going to change anything, unfortunately. He likes to use Jonnu Smith, and on the season, when you look at that over under, he's only missed it in 2 games, only 2 out of 8. So it's more than likely that he's going to hit it than he's going to miss it, and there's nothing that's going to say that we're not going to target Jonnu Smith again. And yeah, I just, as much as we don't like it, and you want those targets to go to Kyle Pitts, that's just not how
Mhm.
Arthur Smith is going to roll. And he's not the type of person to not double down. So, I just like Jonnu Smith quite a bit. And as long as the line continues to stay low like that, I'm going to be betting it pretty regularly.
Yeah. Hey, that's something like bet it until it misses, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The only other bet I had was Minshew touchdowns.
Okay.
For 2 touchdowns, it's at plus 130.
Plus 130.
Yeah, it's risky in my opinion because I feel like we just don't know enough about Minshew, but that's the same like Levis.
He's been playing pretty poor this year, to be fair.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
So,
it's in Germany. It's the Germany game. So I don't
yeah.
know how these teams are going to travel.
I know there's just so much. So that's why it wasn't one like top of my list, but
Sure.
one I could just throw out there for everyone. But yeah, that's really all I got.
That's it. She's done,
Mm-hmm.
guys. She's done. No more bets. So
That's it.
all right, next week I'll try and get her to give you guys a bet for another sport, just so we're multi-sports
Oh,
here.
I can do it. I just wasn't ready.
she's not she's not the best on her feet, but
Yeah. No, I do way too much.
there you go. It's probably
Me
why
and
she wins
Yahoo
more
Sports.
than me. It's probably why
Me
she
and
wins
Yahoo
more than me.
Sports are close.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Yahoo, you don't use ESPN?
I like Yahoo Sports.
You find out something
The
new every
app.
day.
The app, I should say.
Oh, gotcha. All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining us again here today. Is there any last thoughts you got, Sam?
No last thoughts. Let's get some wins. We'll see what his record is by tomorrow, and we'll see what mine is. We could, you never know. Gambling's risky. It could be a flip flop, and he could try to start claiming he's better than me.
I'm not going to do that. You're going to be better than me. I might get luckier on football, but across the whole gamma spectrum of sports, I guarantee you'll be better.
Yeah, yesterday, guys, he texts me and he says, please help.
Please. I was mentally broken, guys. I've had so many. There was one I bet like $10 on just this week. It was a college basketball, and it was like the team it was minus 14.5 for the team to win by, and they were dominating. It was like halftime, and they were up by 30. They ended up losing the bet because I had $10 on it at like minus 110, so I was gonna win $9, and they lost the bet because the other team came back and lost by exactly 14. I was like, you gotta be kidding me, man. Like, oh my gosh, the mental toll.
That's why I tell him too. He always says, what kind of bets do you have? And I always say, well, I don't want to tell you because they always lose when you tail.
But no, I had a bounce back day yesterday. But yeah, this last week, man. This last week. And the moral of the story is don't bet NHL and NBA yet. They don't know what the line should be, and these teams don't know what they should be yet. And it is way too freaking volatile right now to bet anything for NBA and NHL, in my opinion.
NBA is safer because they're doing some weird. This is like first time they've ever done it, and I don't really understand it. And a lot of people don't understand it.
The in-season tournament or whatever.
Yeah, the in-season tournament.
So I'm not gonna lie. I like the floors
better.
though. I like the painted floors. Like those are cool.
You just don't like the jersey.
Oh no, I just didn't like Memphis's. Memphis's was dumb. Like if anybody's out there, and this is the last thing we'll sign off here, but I was watching the Memphis Grizzlies versus Utah Jazz game a little bit last night, and Memphis on the front of their jersey, they have 3 lines that are like this for M, then 3 lines like this for E, and then another 3 after that for the other M. I'm like, this looks like it's just a bunch of lines. It's like, this is garbage. It's just like Roman numerals just randomly on this shirt. And it's supposed to be, oh, it's so new age and cool. And it looks stupid. I was just like, what is
progressive?
This? It's so
It's almost
dumb.
like Braille.
Yeah, I was just like, ma'am. Okay, cool. But yeah, I was just like, this is stupid. So yeah, moral story, don't bet NHL and NBA yet. Let those let the good teams kind of settle out a little bit, and then you can kind of bet the middle. But yeah, the problem is NHL has killed me in the last couple of weeks. That's what most of my losses have been on so far. So
love it. Oh, I'll keep betting it.
It's fun, but it's just the freaking underdogs are winning way too often. To be underdogs. Yeah. But all right, so that said, thank you guys again for joining us. Hit us up on Twitter at TDC_Calvin for myself, at SamTims99 for my co-host here, and at FF After Dark for the podcast. Make sure you guys check out the Dynasty podcast as well. We had a pretty big video not this week, but the week before. We did a 2024 rookie mock draft, first round mock draft. And that one, people seem to like it a lot, so make sure you guys go check that out if you're in any Dynasty leagues and you're kind of wondering what the next year's class is going to look like. We like that one a lot, so make sure you guys check that out. But yeah, find us over on YouTube, Spotify, Apple, Google, anywhere the podcasts are really found, and we appreciate you guys checking us out. So until the next time, thank you guys so much for listening, and have a good night.
And we all got dreams, we all want things, but what you gonna do for it? How you gonna move for it? What you gonna be?